And welcome, Reds. Thank you very much for tuning in to the instant match reaction. Liverpool grinded out a massive 3 points. Regardless of the performance, these are what I love the most, is 1-0 wins at Anfield and away from home as well, but most importantly at Anfield. Yes, you can talk about it not being the most amazing performance, but who's really asked in reality? The 3 points are all that matter. We're discussing, make sure if you are new round here, we're trying to get to 5k subscribers before Christmas. If you are watching on Facebook, drop a follow as well, or YouTube. Absolute legends. Most importantly, Reds, hope you've enjoyed that result. Anyway, as I said, it wasn't that, especially that second half. And apologies for me bloody throat. I went to game tonight, tried to bloody sing my little lungs out anyway, but I enjoyed it. As I said, it was very windy tonight. Obviously, with the flags and everything on the cop, and obviously in the Kenny stand as well, they were bloody literally. I'm surprised they didn't fly out the stadium. But as we say, get your comments in if you are watching on the live, and most importantly, if you are watching on the repeat, get your comments in as well. You would always be featured on the episode. And apologies, I'm a bit late on the live. As I said, everyone, I was doing my bloody graphics anyway, because I literally only just got in anyway. But Reds, hope you enjoyed that. But most importantly, let's get to everyone in the live comment section. Let's get their thoughts before I get into mine anyway. Jan Alisson, man of the match. It's the reason we brought him in for it, Jan, anyway. I know a lot of people, quite rightly, will talk about Darwin Núñez, but what I love, well, I'll get to everyone's comments as well, but before I get straight into my post-match reaction anyway. Even though, how you doing, Jazz? Thank you for tuning in. Navy win, that was at the end, 100% Jazz. 100% Evening Brian, absolute legends. That Millie block was vital as well, definitely was. And big up Kiss. Was at work the whole game, just watched the highlights, looked good in the first half, very lucky in the second half, but the job is done. Where are the Núñez haters? And as I said, absolutely, I love the lad. I absolutely love it. And I love it that he winds up most rival fans. And it's a cracking goal tonight. He could have had probably goal of the season. He had an effort, as he said. Obviously, Chris as well. You missed it. I don't know if the highlights would have showed it. Probably not. But the Darwin Núñez effort in that first half, he's had a couple of those sighters already this season, Darwin Núñez. I think he will probably score goal of the season this year, because the amount of long-range efforts that have been saved, or he've hit the bar already, he's going to get... It was a great goal tonight. He could have come away in that first half performance with the match ball anyway, if he had a bit of luck fall his way. But big up everyone. Make sure you are smashing that like button as well. Really just help the channel grow. And if you are new around here, hit that subscribe button. As absolute legends, the Anfield Lark, get in, Jack. It was a massive win tonight, mate, wasn't it? But as we'll discuss anyway, and we'll talk about the player performances as well. No excuses, Jack. In relation to what, Mark? Just me being late. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, chat as well. It was a nervy second half. Gomez struggled. Yeah, we'll speak about, obviously, the whole team performance, mate. But at the end of the day, if we win the next 10, 11 games after the World Cup or whatnot, the points are all that matter. Yes, you want to talk about the results and the performance, really. But in terms of the points, it's all that matters. We're not in the best of place, really, in terms of form in recent months. It's you come away from the game and 2 clean sheets in a row now. 100% there, Brian. Hello again, Jack. Where you in the Upper Kenny? I was in the lower Scouser. I was going to say, I would have went for a pint with you, mate. If you follow me, Scouse, on Twitter, as I said, I'll probably meet up with a couple of years of... I'll let you know when I'm going to the game anyway. Do go to... Look, quite very fortunate that I do go to a couple of games throughout the season. Sean, the absolute legend, mate. Much love. As I said, hello. Yeah, but Scouser, if you want to go for the bevy 1 week, lad, let us know. Núñez is going to cause rival defenses chaos, 100%. But yeah, big up everyone. As I said, I'm sure you've been told about Núñez clocking fast run speed so far. Again, he did in game 1. As the Scouts, that's a great stat, that, mate. But we'll get straight into it. And in terms of chat, most importantly, I'm more bothered about what you think, regardless of me. Get your comments in on the game. What impressed you? What didn't? But at the end of the day, Liverpool won 3 points, and that's all that matters really in reality. But get your comments in, and we'll feature every single one of them as well. For me, coming out of the ground tonight, yes, the second half, as Chat already alluded to, it was very nervy, Christ almighty. In terms of the first half performance, we'd done enough to very much come away from that game with a lot of chances, really. I get the stats up here in terms of the overall picture. Liverpool dominated possession, as we can see, but goal attempts, 22, 7 shots on target. West Ham had 3. But the man of the match, as I said, Alisson bloody Becker. I know, as I said, Nunez probably will get a lot of plaudits, scored the goal, but Alisson Becker, where would we be if we didn't have him between the sticks? When Bowen was going up to take that penalty, I had a feeling. I don't know, there was something in me back in my mind that was saying Alisson's got this, or Bowen's going to miss it. I'm happy that he did anyway. It was a great save. Yes, you can talk about was it probably at the perfect height, but even still, Alisson's got to get down there. And the way in which he pushed it away from goal, we've seen many a goalkeeper very much parry it straight into. It's been a couple of occasions this season in the Premier League where the goalkeeper saved the pen and it went straight back to the opposition team. And then you've got the tap in, really. But in terms of the second half performance, I want to stay on Alisson Becker most importantly. I don't know if the cameras picked it up, but his leadership, especially in those minutes for the 20-minute period anyway, in that second half, the back end of that game, and quite rightly so, he went out and gave that defence an absolute rollicking. Him and James Milner, I tell you what, if we didn't have those two on the pitch, we probably would have conceded late on in that game, 100%. But that's what I love, as well as Alisson being a world-class shot stopper. He's a world-class leader in this Liverpool team. He's not afraid to dish out criticism on his own players, but most importantly, his leadership qualities. He's telling Trent where to be. Alisson, Gomez as well. He's not scared who he tells, get your act together. Because, as we said, he's all watched that game at home, or if you went to the game tonight, that second half was dodgy as hell. And that's something that Liverpool need to work on. And we will, 100%. We'll work on that in training in the next couple of weeks as well. But as I said, the results, all that matter. But Alisson Becker was my standout man in the match. Let us know you're starting your man in the match, really, in terms of that. And then we'll quickly go through the team. Obviously, Darwin Núñez getting the goal. A great goal, as I said, top of the show. Could have come away from that game with the hat-trick ball in the first 45 minutes. I think when the penny does eventually drop, it already has. But I mean, in terms of Núñez learning the language, in terms of better understanding in the instructions from Jurgen Klopp. It's very good that, obviously, the South American lads are obviously translating a lot of the stuff. But once Núñez is up to full speed in terms of the instructions and tactical input in the game, and I loved Liverpool playing a 4-4-2 tonight again. It was more or less, it was weird, the substitutions. Just the substitutions in the second half, I think Jurgen Klopp, not that he got it wrong, but I think he very much disrupted the momentum. I think the players that did come on, in terms, obviously, as we've seen, Carvalho come off, Firmino come off, Núñez come off, Thiago Alcantara, Costas as well. But I understand that Thiago had to come off. But in terms of, I think Liverpool in that second half, most importantly, when, as we all know, when you take Thiago off, he's such a controller within a game of football. The second half, that ball kept on getting cleared. It was getting straight back to a West Ham. And I tell you what, if you're a West Ham fan coming out of this game, you're really disappointed in reality in terms of not just quite getting that final ball anyway in between the sticks and capitalising on Liverpool's sloppiness in and around the box. But yeah, in terms of the performance, Alisson Becker, as I said, man of the match. Bobby Firmino, and I want to shout out Carvalho as well in that first half performance. As I said, started off on that left-hand flank for Liverpool, but he was very much switching wings quite a lot within that game. And in that first 45-minute period when Carvalho was on the pitch, and the time he was on, he was fantastic in terms of picking up those pockets of space. As I said, it's very rare that you see. I know he's come from Fulham with a lot of experience in the Championship, but I tell you what, Carvalho was something else really in terms of tight spaces and control. Liverpool had a lot of control in that first 45 minutes, and that was stemmed through, obviously, Thiago Alcantara, but most importantly, Carvalho as well, in terms of his interchange and passing, his fluidity, in terms of switching positions. He's not, yes, he was playing on the left, but he was switching onto the right through the middle as well in those inside channels. And it's something that I didn't notice going into this game in terms of Carvalho's game, but his in-game intelligence in terms of when to go, where to go, most importantly, that's absolutely spot on from Fabio. And it's a lot of positives really to come from that game. Costa Simicus, let us know your thoughts, everyone. I think Trent, you could tell Trent had probably missed his rhythm within the game. And I don't know, there was a nervousness, and I was nervous when West Ham, especially in that second half. And I think opposition fans, I don't know if this filters towards the team as well in terms of when opposition teams are going down that right-hand side of Liverpool's, but I don't know, I don't want to pick out on Trent, but in terms of Liverpool's right-hand side in that second half, it was sort of needs to happen. And I hate to be negative, but it's just, you can tell he's come straight into a game, Trent, and I'm hoping that will improve in the next couple of weeks, really. But yeah, it was a bit, not just Trent, but in terms of that Liverpool's right-hand side from a defensive point of view, wasn't quite. Chat, let us know your thoughts on that, because I don't know if you watched it at home as well. But yeah, I wanted to mention Carvalho, Darwin Núñez, his work rate as well, chat. Most importantly, Darwin Núñez' work rate. I think that's one element of his game that a lot of people, especially outside of Liverpool, in terms of rival fans, don't anticipate. Having him and Bobby Firmino up front in that first half, in terms of that game as well, was fantastic. The work rate, the tireless nature, typical South Americans, really. But the more I see Darwin Núñez, the more I get excited, really. But get to everyone's comments as well. Most importantly, get your thoughts in the comment section below as well. But read that scout. So big up Jose as well. Make sure you are smashing that like button as well, everyone. Really just help. And if you are new around here, hit that subscribe button down below, most importantly. I really like that Fabio brought to the game tonight. 100% there, Jose, just more or less relating to what I've just said then. Close control and movements, and his in-game intelligence, Jose, it's fantastic. When you go to a game or if you watch on telly, you try and identify a player that you just keep an eye on. And I was watching for a good 20-25 minute period Fabio's movements. And I tell you what, we've got some player on our hands anyway. He's going to be one very special player. He's very good already, but in terms of the next 3 to 4 year period, if he continues his development to Liverpool, we've got some bloody player on our hands. That boy, Pascal Power, he wants obviously anything unnecessary levels of force. But not too sure about that. Mr. Magnificent Ali, Egyptian King, big up, mate. As I said, where would we be without him? In the best possible way, Ali is the world's best, 100%, as he is. Him and Courtois, and even, I still do rate El Black anyway. Alisson made a few mistakes first half. He did, Mark, as I said, but the most importantly, he saved a pen. He can make as long as we come away from this game with the 3 points, regardless. It's tactical, good tactical call though. Yeah, 100% there, Brian. Saving Núñez as well, and probably that relates in terms of Mark in relation to the substitutions. They're bringing Thiago off. We want to protect him. He's played quite a lot of minutes over the last couple of weeks, and especially with the games coming thick and fast before the World Cup, we can't really risk any players. And I think the cameo Milner did have in that second half importance, as Chat alluded to, and we see within that game, that vital block at the back end of that game. I think Milner, especially Curtis Jones, I think struggled when he did come in that second half. I think it's similar with Trent. It's always so difficult when you're not up to full speed of a game. You can tell he's not match sharp, Curtis. I mean, we've always known Curtis he's going to have to take at least 2 to 3 games to really get up to full speed. It's what I play in under 21s football, but it's not unlike playing Premier League football and getting that match fitness and match sharpness. Can be anything he wants. Seeing him come back, he's been amazing. Horrible injury as well. 100% there, Brian. Nunes is starting to play with a lot of confidence now. So glad he got that score on the score sheet. Again, 100% there, Egyptian King. Scout's one of the hardest languages to learn. Yes, 100%. Nunes should have stayed on. I would have loved to have seen that, Linda. It was interesting. That very much was a tactical switch by Jurgen Klopp. Lucky enough, Liverpool did get away with it tonight, and we 100% did. We dominated the statistics in that first half. We had enough chances, but at the end of the day, we seen out the game. And I think clean sheets are so important in terms of building confidence between the players at the back, and obviously, most importantly, Alisson, Becker. But we got the 3 points. Good insight that on Ali. What you witnessed. Yeah, I don't know if the scouts, if they picked it up on the television cameras, but he gave them a right telling off, to put it in nice terms anyway. We need to be more clinical. Russell, 100%, mate. I think you sat at home and it seemed like one of those games, but it wasn't tonight. And that's the most important thing. That the good thing coming away from this game, yes, we only scored 1 goal tonight. But in terms of, I'd be more concerned if Liverpool weren't creating. But the most important factor is we are. And I think the 2 main key threats for Liverpool in our attacking sense, Diego Jota as well, and Luis Diaz, getting through this period, especially after the World Cup as well, is so important. If we can keep on grinding out these results, those 2 players are massive for Liverpool. But we've got to deal with the cards we're dealt. And I think Carvalho will 100% step up in the absence of Luis Diaz anyway. Very different players, but I think what Carvalho offers to Liverpool is something that we haven't quite got in abundance, really, and that's quality on the ball, most importantly, in those tight areas. Can very much bring Liverpool higher up the pitch anyway. Looking forward to seeing that Carvalho can become as well. Fabio will definitely be our secret weapon in this season to come. 5K subs soon. Jan, hopefully, as I said, never big up everyone. Trent was a bag of rubbish. Poor effort and awareness as well. Spider, yeah, 100%, mate. Big up. Make sure to head over to Spider LFC as well, mate. I'll get you on the post-match tomorrow. But on a West Ham point of view, and big up Spider as well. And big up, obviously, my mate James. Massive thank you for coming on the show yesterday, mate. If you need me tomorrow, I'm in college, but I can do a show in the evening if you want to do a post-match show, mate. Thank you for tuning in, most importantly, mate. And speaking on a West Ham point of view, if there's any Hammers watching, I was really disappointed. And I spoke to James, as we said in the pre-match show yesterday, in terms of West Ham point of view, and I expected a bit more in terms of an attacking sense. Jared Bowen, I don't know what it is this season, but as I was speaking to James yesterday, I don't know if he's waiting for the World Cup, Jay, or I don't know what it is, but obviously Paqueta didn't start tonight. I think he's picked up an injury. It was a massive miss for West Ham tonight. I think he really struggled to get in, really controlling the game. The young lad Downs, anyway, in the midfield, good. I really do like him. Declan Rice, solid, but I think really Skamaka, Fornals and Bowen really failed to materialise in terms of an attacking sense tonight. But I was a West Ham fan. I'd be really disappointed that just it wasn't clicking. Quite luckily enough, it wasn't clicking tonight, and that's a good point. We didn't take our chances 100% there, Jay. Gabriel Batasuta, Jack, 100% there, Brian. Great player. Famous for pound shots in. Nunes has that vibe. Oh, I'll tell you what. Bring on Forest next. It's going to be a massive game. West Ham felt at the end like they could score, needed to kill teams off. Russell, 100% mate. What position do you see Carvalho in, Jack, long term? In terms of this season, obviously, as I said, with the absence of Luis Diaz, Liverpool, I think, will continue to persist with a 4-4-2 formation. As we've seen tonight, it was more or less switching between a 4-4-2 and a 4-2-3-1. It's very varied in terms of the interchange, and that's what happens when you can play, obviously, like Thiago, Henderson, and when Fabinho did come on, it was more or less Henderson and Fabinho in that middle. But I think when Henderson and Fabinho do play, I think Liverpool massively struggle to control games. In terms of better against a better opposition that is more technical than West Ham tonight. They've got a lot of qualities, we know, but in terms of a team that can very much dictate and control possession, i.e. like a Wolves or a Man City, I think Liverpool, when they would play those two, I think we'd really struggle. And we did struggle in that second half to really get hold of a game and just get the ball on the ground and just start playing football and make it tick over, really. But yeah, Bill Spider as well. Spider. We're slowly but surely climbing. As I said, yeah, Egyptian King will head over now to the most important thing, and that's the standings of the Premier League, everyone. Can I zoom into that? There we go. Is that any better? Yeah, there we go. Liverpool, off the back of this result, it's looking much better. As chat already alluded to, we will be playing Forest next. But, as I said, Newcastle with a great win. Go ahead, the Geordies. Beating the Ev. You love to see it. But, obviously, we've got a game in hand on Newcastle. I think Manchester United winning against Spurs tonight was a massive result in terms of the teams in and around Spurs, in terms of taking 3 points off them. I think the Arsenal are probably the winners of tonight in reality. But it's looking more promising, Reds. I think we just got to keep on taking these results off. And I think we'll see the Liverpool climbing up the table much more, as I said. So what we are we now? We're 4 points off top four, and that's got to be our aim, really. I think talk of a title, as much as we'd hope, but we are 7 points behind Manchester City with the same games played, and that's the most important thing. The fact that we are still only 7 points behind City, and obviously, yes, you can talk about Arsenal, and Arsenal won't win the league this season. It'll either be Liverpool or Manchester City anyway. The inexperience will very much show, and then once Arsenal still they play a lot more European football, Arsenal will get injuries. They've not got the squad depth to really cope. I think top four, Arsenal, as I said, I had them finishing fourth this season. And I think they started well, but once they start getting injuries in European football, I think they'll really struggle to balance the books, really, in terms of performance. And when they will hit a dip, they're on such a good performance. Rice got man of the match on Amazon. Did he, Scouser? Oh, nice one for that, mate. As I said, just literally got through the door. Interesting, mate. Played quite well, Rice. Played quite well, considering obviously downs for West Ham as well in terms of their squad. But chat, before we do head off, would you take Declan Rice if we got him in January or next summer? For me, I would. I know it'd cost quite a lot of money, and it'd probably be stupid money, but if we can get him at I was speaking to James, I'm a massive admirer of Declan Rice, and even watching him tonight, just the simple things. I think he commands the pitch quite well. He moves around the pitch. He gets his head up. Most importantly, he's not a sideways, backwards type of player. He's a player that gets on the ball. He's not shy of players around him. He's a big lad, 6'2", 6'3" anyway, and he commands midfields, and that's something that Liverpool do need in the next years to come anyway. We need to batter Forest next as well, so it'll be an interesting game. Big up, Eamons. Hope you enjoyed that, mate. It was one of those midweek games we can forget. As long as we won, need to do better though. 100% there, Eamons. Hope you enjoyed the game, mate. And the 1892 Reds podcast, big up there, fella. Yes, big result, mate. As I said, get your man in the matches in. As I said, if you haven't read out your comments anyway, get your thoughts on the game. West Ham controlled the second half, 100% there, Mark. And that alludes to, obviously, when I did say about Thiago, him coming off, Liverpool really lacked that control in that second half, especially with bringing Fabio Carvalho off as well. Bobby Firmino late on. Toffee's melted tonight. You love to see it. I haven't seen it, the Egyptian King. I'll watch the highlights, but chat, you'll have to let me know what the other games were like. Talio, was Spurs bad, especially a 2-0 loss to Man United. It's a big result for them, sadly. That change where Carvalho took it in midfield, turns and almost played Melwin was one pass, was really impressive as well. Yeah, keep an eye on Carvalho, chat. I'd say he's going to be a some player. Nunes was great tonight. Carvalho isn't bloody hell, Gary. I must have been watching a different game to you, Gary. He was fantastic tonight. Gary, he's only what old Carvalho? He's what, 18, 19? Probably 20. He's so young, Gary. He's not going to be the finished product as soon as he comes straight in. But I felt he was probably my second or third man of the match for Liverpool tonight. I think he really impressed me. Obviously, the match winners, Alisson and Núñez, but I think a lot of plaudits do have to go to Carvalho, mate. But fair enough, Gary. I think he's a really special player. 100%. Harsh, Gary. I was going to say, Gary. Very harsh. He deserves to go to the bigger club. Declan would love him. Rafa Barella. Declan Rice is a fantastic player. Just offer him free pie and mash after games, London. Yeah, I'm going to be having some of that when it comes down. And yeah, it'll be too much money. That would be the news for the Brazilian midfielder, João Gomes. I would rather see Bruno from Newcastle. I love Bruno. I'm not going to pronounce his second name because, won't get Rice though if you take a new deal. Naby and Milner and Ox put it on TikTok anyway. An Irishman, I'm obliged to tell Declan Rice to go beep himself anyway. Because spot on there, Brian obviously did change his allegiance. Man of the match, Núñez. Spurs were awful, lads. Big up their chat as well. Get to everyone's comments as well. Harsh and Carvalho, Gary, I was going to say. Very harsh. Núñez and Ali shared man of the match for me. Big up. Carvalho already has 2 goals as well. 20 years. I was going to say, Mark Christ. Still a young lad. Yeah, of course. But chat, as I said, I think absolute legends. If you haven't already done so, drop a like on the video. Really does help the algorithm anyway. Absolute legends. As I said, Liverpool got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. Yes, we can talk about the performance, but these lads deserve every ounce of our support anyway. I'm excited, chat. I think we all are. The more we see Núñez, the more you understand Scouse, the better. As I said, that's a whole new language in itself. Once Núñez understands that, just get a couple of lessons off Trent and Curtis anyway. But yeah, it's promising signs. Jota coming in, Jota being out injured, it's an opportunity for Carvalho, and a lot, especially we got the win when we did tinker with the starting 11. It's important that we do come into these games, and even for us, if we do rotate. Because, as we said, there's a World Cup on the horizon. We don't want any of our players getting injured. So it's important if players do feel a little tweak here and there in terms of training this week, don't risk it at all. But it's exciting times. But Naby, yeah, he's not staying there. But Núñez could have scored 3 against City and 3 today. 100% there. Russell said that top of the show there, mate. And he's going to score goal of the season this season. Put a 10 on it, chat. Anyway, I think what game was it, chat? When he was a couple of weeks ago when he absolutely hit it on a half volley or something. It nearly, I think it canned off the crossbar. What game was that? If that flew in, that would have been man in a match, and he could have had a bloody. He hit the post as well tonight, didn't he, chat? Or was the crossbar? Obviously, I haven't watched the replays back anyway, but I'll probably watch it when I go to bed anyway. But chat, massive, massive win. As I said, have a quick look at that league table, the most important standings. As it stands, Liverpool are 7th in the Premier League, 7 points off Manchester City anyway, and that's the most important thing. Just got to keep on grinding these results, especially if we go to the Etihad this season. As long as we keep on thinking one game at a time, that's all we can do. We've boxed the West Ham game off. It's always a difficult game. I know we've got such a good record against West Ham, but they are more or less 4-4-2, parked the bus out. But yeah, we got it over the line, chat, most importantly. I didn't talk about the second half, and I did have a little talk about Trent anyway, but it wasn't just Trent, it was a whole team collective. The way Liverpool switch off in games is probably what we need to talk about throughout the week, but we'll talk about that in another show. I think on another night, a better opposition finished those chances. But at the end of the day, Liverpool come away from Anfield with all 3 points, and we go into a massive game. Forest, massive club. That's won European Cups. Just saying. Yeah, so happy days. But big up chat as well. Thank you very much, Egyptian King. And yeah, that's a big game as well. But chat, Have a lovely rest of your night. If I haven't mentioned any players or whatnot, let us know in the comment section below as well. I will be going through all the post-match comments. If you do leave comments in the description, I will read them out in tomorrow's episode. Try and get a couple of the lads on as well if they are available. I will upload a match day vlog as well, chat. That'll be on the channel tomorrow. So if you don't get any notification, do show your support on that. Really would appreciate it as well. If you are new around here, smash that like button down below. But most importantly, smash it because the Reds won a game of football. Most importantly. But Eamons, you're very welcome, mate. Thank you to every single one of you that's tuned in. And everyone have a lovely rest of your night. As I said, I'm going to be watching the highlights. I'll rewatch this game back anyway, but it was just my instant thoughts anyway. And yeah, I made up we have Alisson Becker. We can all sleep well knowing we've got Alisson Becker in goal. He's so good. So bloody good. But chat, good night all. Have a lovely rest of your night. As I said, match day vlog will be out tomorrow and another post-match chat anyway. If anything breaks anyway, we'll discuss it. So the live show will be out at 8 p.m. tomorrow, chat. As I said, if you don't get your notification, we are live 8 p.m. GMT. But everyone, massive thank you to every single one of you for the support. Day in, day out. As I said, just enjoy doing the show. Speaking to you is what I love the most as well. Everyone, look after yourself. Enjoy the rest of your night. And have a lovely Thursday. Anyway, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Never walk alone, Reds. The Reds, 7 points off City. Long way to go. Up the Reds.